afternoon, I'm Mary Breen and I'm the director of the Early Start programme Literatures in Ireland. This is a month-long programme run through the end of August to the end of September in the English department in University College Cork. I have with me today two students who took part in that programme this year. I have Megan on my right and Nora beside her. They both came to Dublin with us on one of the field trips that are associated with the course. As part of the programme this year, we studied Joyce's great novel, Ulysses, and we spent 3 days in Dublin walking the route that Leopold took through the city and becoming familiar with one of the most difficult novels in 20th century literature. So I'm going to ask the girls about that experience and what they felt, how it felt like to walk the streets of Dublin just as Leopold Bloom had done in the early part of the 20th century. I'll start with Meg. So how did you find that experience? Did it make the novel easier to understand?
Yeah, it definitely did. It was hard to read it on my own, I think, in the class because it was just a really difficult novel to get through, but having somebody, a live person, telling us about it and walking us through it and seeing the steps Leopold Bloom took made it a lot easier to follow his journey in the novel.
Okay, and Nora, how about you? Did you enjoy the field trip in Dublin?
I agree. It was easier as we took the novel apart into smaller sections. And when we had the seminar, the leader talked about the chapter, specifically just that one chapter, 17, and gave us an overview and then took us on the walk so we knew what we were looking for and we knew what we were looking at.
Very good. And Meg, how about you? We didn't just do the walk through Dublin City, we also went out to visit the Martello Tower. How did you find that experience?
That was really nice. It was more like a museum, and we walked all the way to the top and viewed all of Sandy Cove, and we could see the whole city. It was really pretty. I liked that experience. And
how about you, Nora? We did take some other field trips as well during the programme. Can you describe some of those to us?
We saw Elizabeth Bowen's, where her house used to be, the ruins. And then after that, we also went to the photo house, which was very different, nothing like I've ever seen in the States.
And Meg, do you think that walking through Dublin made the novel more accessible to you? Ulysses is a notoriously difficult text to read. What about what happened in Dublin that made it come more alive to you?
I guess seeing that some of the places that he went to in the novel still existed. Like there was one restaurant that he always went to, and we walked right past it and it was still there. So I guess it kind of made the text seem more recent since we could see some of the things that he did. So.
And Nora, did you get to the end of Ulysses? Did you read the whole text?
I read the chapters that we discussed in class, and I think that walking through the city and, like Meg said, seeing everything, all the stops that Leopold Bloom took really made it seem more realistic of a novel rather than if you were just reading it, it could almost seem fiction, but it came more to life when we walked through. And then when we went to Sandy Cove, the museum actually had a lot more about James Joyce, so we got to learn about him as a writer.
And we saw the 40-foot too. Do you know what goes on at the 40-foot?
I think it used to be an all-man nude beach. We saw some people there. It was kind of cold, but some people were swimming. It's not all for men anymore, but it's like kind of like a cliff, and you can like jump into the water. So it was pretty.
What about the Early Start programme overall? How did you find that? Top-loading your programme in UCC with an Early Start programme rather than coming in September?
It allowed us to meet a lot of other students. It was an easy way to get adjusted just by taking one class. It allowed us a lot more time to get to know Ireland with the Early Start program. We also did a couple of field trips. We went to the Rock of Cashel, which also showed us something that we wouldn't normally see probably in Ireland. But other than that, it was a lot of fun, I thought.
And what about you, Meg? It's coming time to going home now, close to the end of the semester you've spent here. Has it been a worthwhile experience for you?
It definitely has. I've loved being abroad, and I definitely think the Early Start helped me adjust here better by taking just one class, and I got to get closer with some of the girls in the group because in these 200 people lectures I don't even know who sits behind me, so that definitely helped in making friends and feeling more comfortable here. And I've loved the experience so far. I've loved traveling and it's been really fun.
How about you, Nora? Have you enjoyed the whole time you've been here in Ireland?
Yes, I've loved it. It's been really easy to meet all of the Irish students here, and they're all so friendly. Everyone here is very friendly. And the classes that we've been taking here really taught us a lot about, like, for example, the history of Ireland taught us all about Ireland through the years, which in the States we wouldn't really get to learn about Ireland, just Ireland. And so a lot of the classes gave me a different spin on the world.
So you would recommend coming to Cork and the Early Start programme for other students who are thinking of studying abroad?
Definitely, I would say come to Cork. It's great. Like, I loved everything about it. It's so easy to go to other places, but you're still in the city. It's easy to see all the rural Ireland and travel, but our location at Leeside was great, and the school is great, the people are great. There's nothing I didn't like, so I would definitely recommend it.
It's a great ambassador for us. What about you, Nora? Can you top that?
I'd have to agree 100%. I think it's a very homey feeling here. It's easy to get to know people. It's a city, but yet it's a small city, so you can really find your way. And I've loved it so far.
The Early Start programs in University College Cork run each year, and all of them can be found on the International Student Office website, which is attached to the general website for UCC.